Good evening. My name is Denise Greber, and welcome to Cafe La MaMa Online. This evening, we are going to present a work in progress presentation from one of our resident companies, Loco 7 Dance Puppet Theater Company. Tonight, we will show a 29-minute excerpt from a show called Lunch with Sonia that we've been working on for a couple of years now, and will have its world premiere live in person at La MaMa in fall 2021. So please watch these next 29 minutes and stick around, because when we're done, we're going to gather with some of the artists that were involved with this residency process and talk a little bit about what we did and where we're headed next. Thank you.
I went to visit my family on August 26, 2012. It was midnight when I arrived at my brother's house. He just finished renovating my mother's old apartment. The phone rang, and it was Tia Sonia, who lived 2 floors down. She asked me to come over because she had something important to tell me. Her daughter, my cousin, opened the door for me. When I went into the living room, my sister was also there. I gave Tia Sonia a kiss, and she told me,
"Fred, pour yourself a drink and sit down. I have everything set for September 24th. I already found the doctor and even organized my own funeral."
I finished my drink and I poured myself another. She has been preparing all her friends and family for this conversation for years. 2 years before, we did manage to postpone it due to the death of my mother, who suffered a stroke while she slept. Strokes run on that side of my family. My grandfather lived the last 15 years of his life partially paralyzed and unable to speak. That terrified Sonia. My sister and cousin were looking at me, both of them a little pale, waiting to see my reaction. I looked at Tia Sonia, got up and kissed her. We clinked our glasses, drank and cried for hours more. I asked her if everybody knew already, and she said she was in the process of telling everyone, planning many lunches and dinners to be able to say goodbye. We talked about many things, and then around 3 a.m. she asked me to help her to the bathroom. She was using her walker, and I was holding her oxygen tank. She sat on the toilet to pee, and we kept talking. That was very normal in our family. You will not end a conversation because you had to go to the bathroom. At some point, I felt I had the courage and I told her I want to be with her on the 24th, but had to finish a gig in New York. I asked her if she could possibly change it to the 26th and I fly on the 25th. She looked at me, pulled up her pants and say,
Okay, the 26th. Let's go have one last drink and then to bed. It's late. Anita, por favor, ¿me puedes traer un cafecito, una arepita y un huevito? Gracias. Álvaro. Lina. Go back to the kitchen. Ya mismo. Vamos, vamos. Para la cocina, ya mismo. A la cocina. Vamos, vamos. A la cocina.
Those weeks before September 26, Sonia had many visitors. Some saying their goodbyes, some trying to change her mind. Others resolved as she was and just wanting to be closer to her.
Cuando se fue, nunca creí que la veía y era un requesón fácil tan cruel como el de hoy. Miren, si no es alucinante que por ese cachivache seas lo que soy. Fiera venganza la del tiempo que te hace ver deshecho lo que un amor. Y esta noche me ha hecho tanto mal que si lo pienso más termino envenenado. Y yo que sé cuando no aguanto más y al verla así raqué a no llorar y pensar
que yo te lo mostré hoy. lo van a tumbar.
Sí, no, este queda más al norte, la 38.
Sí, es que eso es
Esos edificios viejos no los puede hacer una cocina más, puede hacer una tina,
Desde las colinas de Medellín se divisa el valle de la Mujer, una de los hombres que Dios va.
Yo prefiero no pensar en eso. Bueno, ¿y qué hay de nosotros, de nuestra cuenta?
Sonia, hace unos días me dijiste que querías para hoy que te preparara chatas con chimichurri, un puré de papa criolla y ensalada de aguacate para 40 personas. Y eso es lo que te estamos preparando ahora.
hay que tenerlo en cuenta.
Ay, sí, Sonia. ¿Para qué? Para la séptima.
Para la octava y para por esa área.
¿Van a hacer qué?
Van a ser 4 torres de...
Ah, pero en el blanco.
¿Ah?
En la torre blanca.
No. Sí, en donde está el edificio de la cara. Que yo te lo mostré hoy. Me dijiste,
Es el blanco,
el blanco, lo van a tumbar.
Sí, no, este queda más al norte, la 38.
Sí, es que eso es el límite. Organizamos para allá. Esto sí, para llevar, por favor.
No, pero esos edificios viejos
Ay, tía Sonia. I don't believe you're so sick that you need to do this. I think you need to think about your daughters and your grandchildren. They're so young. You're gonna traumatize them. I think you're crazy to do this.
My daughters are fine. They've got their life together. My older grandchildren are mature enough to understand. I have already done what I could for them, and the youngest is his mother's responsibility. She's strong and capable.
Now who am I gonna dance with?
My Pachito, my dear friend and confidant. Let's dance the last tango. But make sure not to let me fall. It could kill me.
Our memories are very long, some painful, some happy, and almost always with a lot of love. We were girls. Sonia, my big sister, we didn't think too much about things. We just lived. In every game you beat me, but the best thing that could happen to me was to play with you. I remember your headaches. You had an abnormal eye and had to have surgery more than once. It was so difficult for you to wear glasses. I remember how you were friends with our neighbors on the second floor, the ones that owned the beauty salon that overlooked the street. You talked to them and learned how to fix your nails and make your hair into a French bun. The gift of conversation was so natural for you, and that gift never abandoned you. I remember when we were teenagers. It was so different back then. Not like now. In those days, women didn't have male friends. We were raised to have suitors that turned into fiancés, that became husbands, then fathers to our children. Sonia, you made friends with the guys. It was a bit of a scandal in 1960s Medellin. It has always been like this, surrounded by people, talking, having heated conversations, dancing, drinking too much aguardiente, smoking way too many cigarettes. Well, that's probably what got you here. This moment. Such a different situation.
I asked my dear friend Alberto Quiroga a few days ago to prepare my final lunch. Ay, churrasco with chimichurri. A puree of papa criolla with an avocado salad for me and just 40 of my closest friends and family. I've spent the entire month eating my favorite foods, but in the end, for my last meal, I went very basic: meat and potatoes and a glass of Veuve Clicquot champagne.
Después le vamos a echar más cuando la carne ya esté lista.
For the chimichurri, they have chopped garlic, some parsley, fresh oregano, some salt, a little brown sugar, picante amazónico tostado al sol, qué rico. A good amount of white wine vinegar, a tablespoon of mustard, a little olive oil, and last, some pepper.
Welcome back, and thank you all for joining us and watching a work in progress excerpt from Lunch with Sonia. I'm sitting here with Federico Restrepo, the director and the conceptualist of this piece, and we are surrounded by many of the people who worked with us during this residency process that we had at La MaMa. We spent about 10 days together in La MaMa's downstairs theater, and we rehearsed about 3 to 4 hours each time we met. And we put these 29 minutes that you just saw together to start us off on this journey to fulfilling the show and having it have its world premiere in a live theater, September 29th, 2021. I'll turn it over to Federico to say some things.
Oh, well, I think thank you, everyone. I feel that we really did a lot of work in these 10 days, and to be able to experiment with the new puppets, some of the scenes they're going to be inside of the show, trying to understand how we're going to use the sound and recreate the space and the ambient of the show, develop all the work of the costumes and see how we evolve with all this was a really beautiful gift that we got from La MaMa to be able to do this before we make our opening on October. And I just want to say to everyone, thank you very much for all the work you did.
If anyone watching is on Facebook or Vimeo or YouTube and you have any questions that you want to give to us, we do have someone monitoring those chats, so please feel free to ask us any questions. This is pretty informal. We just want to, again, give thanks. We have Becky in the house, and Becky is our costume designer. And wave, Becky, so people know who you are, Becky. She's being shy. And then we have Leonie Bell. She's our sound designer and music composer. And we're here with the other performers that were in the show, Zuli, Aaron, and Marina. And we are one company member short. His name is Chris, and he was not able to join us this evening. He's in the process of moving. Can you believe it? He won't be joining us as we continue this work, but he's in spirit with us always. So does anyone from the company want to talk a little bit about the process or any observations? I think some of you, this is your first time watching it, right? Zuli, Aaron, Hope. Oh, and Hope, I forgot to mention Hope. Sorry, Hope, also another performer. Sorry, Hope. I know that Becky and Leonie watched it with me sitting in the audience. As designers, we tend to get the opportunity to watch all the rehearsals and watch the show. So for the performers, this was your first time seeing it. Any thoughts?
I thought it was very good. I really liked the cinematography, and all the robot cameras really worked out well, I think. It seemed very fluid. I was happy with, I told you in the email earlier, I was pretty happy with this as an ensemble on stage. So it was nice to see it actually be real.
Yeah, you bring up a good point that we should also mention here to everyone. We performed this at the downstairs theater La MaMa, and we were very fortunate to have with us Pierce. And if Pierce wants to turn on his camera, he can too join us. Pierce operated the cameras that captured this live stream. This was done in one take. So we had 3 cameras and a console that Pierce was running, switching from one camera to another, as well as trying to zoom in. And Pierce, he's not able to turn on his camera, but he's here and he's listening to us. And he was able to capture this. This was a one-shot deal, so it's kind of, you would have seen this same exact show at around 3:30 on Sunday had you been in the theater with us. So there's no editing involved in this. So it was really something very important for us. We wanted to have as close a feeling to present in this stream, a closer feeling of being inside of a theater. I know that sometimes it was a little dark. Theater lights don't always translate as well on camera, and that's something we're learning.
Yeah.
I think we have a question from John Marco. Hey, John Marco. Tell us about the sound design sources, music, and voiceovers. So Luz Beatriz Pizano, who is the voice of Sonia. She's a dear friend of Loco 7 and a beautiful artist. She's herself a writer, director, and actress that is based in Toronto and originally born in Colombia. And she took on the task of working with us remotely and being the voice of Sonia. Hopefully, as we continue to work on this process, we're going to get her out of Canada and down here and with us in New York, so we can work a little bit more in time with each other. She's been so generous and wonderful to give us her voice, and we appreciate it very much. But now I'll let Leonie talk about the rest. Go ahead, Leonie.
Hey everybody, great to be here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Oh, cool. These AirPod things, I don't know. Yeah, we did a lot of we used a lot of the voiceover, and then I sourced a lot of the material. Actually, Denise and Federico sent me a lot of the kind of party sounds that were actually from a dinner party, right, Federico?
Yeah.
From dinner party. I think I actually heard your voice in some of them as I was doing some of the mixing yesterday, but maybe I misunderstood. But yeah.
Sister and his nephew, they kind of sound.
Okay. It was, I mean, it's pretty cool that it's actually like the family, you know, that when does that ever happen? Sorry, the computer's on my knees. So we sourced a lot of the sound from the actual dinner parties. And then I also found a lot on like public domain, researching specifically Colombian background sound noises. And then we did a teeny tiny bit of voiceover in the studio for Marina's monologue and for Aaron's role. And it was fun to play with a new toy. I'm going to say that because we had a new microphone and that was really fun. So that was a good happy accident because we couldn't do it with the mics, you know.
Yeah, it was definitely, we wanted to try to have the feeling of being in a crowded room with lots of sounds, noise, music, conversation, laughter, crying. You know, we really wanted to try to immerse, especially in the sala, the living room scenes. We really wanted to have that particular feeling. So a lot of layering of sounds and noise and music. Let's see, anyone else? You got everyone, just, you know, some people are congratulating you and giving hearts and all that stuff on Facebook. So you guys did a great job. It's been such a pleasure to work with you these past 2 weeks in the space. And I really look forward to August when we start again and finish the rest of the show. This was about it's about half the show, what we just presented, give or take.
Give or take, yeah, we have around 12 more scenes that we need to try, and a group of new puppets are coming too. So we have a lot to investigate for August. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else want to say anything?
Yeah, I wanted just to chime in. You know, for me, this was the first time I got to. I know that some of the cast members have worked on other iterations of this show prior, but for me, this was the first time with lunch with Sonia. This was the first time meeting Sonia, and I'm so intrigued by the story, and I'm so intrigued by her journey. And so I hope that that, you know, her journey and the story and translate to this little excerpt. And I hope that people who see this excerpt, you know, are as curious or become as curious as as I am.
Yes,
So that's my
definitely. The story is a story. It's very, you know, it's very provocative. It's not an easy story to tell. It's a true story, and I think that Federico is being a little shy, but he would say it was a story he felt was important to Sonia, and wanted to open conversations about the topic. You know, like everything in life, it's not for everyone, but hey, why not talk about it at least? Open a conversation. We have another question.
Absolutely.
Can someone talk a bit about the puppets handling? So yeah, we have Aaron was mostly on Sonia, and Marina, Hope, and Zuli took turns with the various wire puppets that were present in the show in certain moments. Federico.
And myself, do you want to talk a little bit, Aaron?
Sure. Well, the Sonia puppet is Federico, of course, built it, but I guess it's very similar to a hand and rod puppet, except for this iteration anyway, the hand is not inside. There's the rod in the back. I tried to hide my hand as much as possible, but it was just a couple times where you can see this. But and then it has some armatures connecting all of the pieces. But I don't know what it's very, the style is very Federico. You've been making those style of the cotton and nylon puppets for quite a while, correct? For 40 years, you said?
Yeah, something like that.
And the handling of it is something that you invented, the shoes, the twisting shoes for the tango, which was fun to learn. And I'm sure we're gonna advance those even more to get our moves even more sharp. But it was great. And even watching it, I was really happy with how well it really connected and didn't seem, you know, as a performer, sometimes you don't, even while you're doing it, you don't necessarily trust what you're doing sometimes, but it really seemed to be all together there. And I'm excited to see all the different things that we can do for her.
It's true. I'm very excited with the puppet. I feel the puppet really give what I was dreaming to get from the puppet. So I think it's a real character there that you managed to give a lot of life. And I'm very happy about it. Really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. The puppet has been literally living on my couch for a year. That puppet was made during the pandemic. You know, he had a different Sonia puppet when we did it, the first work in progress before the pandemic. And then during the pandemic, we just thought, oh, well, he thought, let's try something different. So she's it's nice to see her, you know, sitting up on a chair and brought to life after a year of lying on my couch.
Oh, and I do want to add, as far as the controlling as well, the underneath the muumuu, I guess we would call it, her dress, she's definitely fully articulated. Her knees, her back, like so many cuts in the foam is pretty precise that Federico put everything with that allows pretty clean movement, even with a puppet that's mostly foam. And that made it pretty good to work with because it gave it a lot of articulation and also strength and firmness. Yeah.
I'm happy.
That's true.
I don't know. The other puppets.
Anyone else want to talk about the wire puppet experience, the little ones?
I think Hope and I were both learning how to move the knees of the silver puppet, but we figured it out. I felt it was really, it's a very beautiful process because we have to work together and breathe together. And I thought it was very beautiful how we end up communicating without really, you know, talking. Like we feel each other, right? And we know where we're going, when we're moving. Yeah, I thought that was very beautiful. And about the big puppet, I wanted to say, I was just saying how at some point you kind of feel crazy because I feel like she was a real person and I started like
connecting with her. I don't know if it's the facial features or everything that Aaron just described, but you start like, she's just another actor, I guess, on stage. Yeah. Oh.
I felt that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And Becky, thank you. The costumes were, we went for the kind of all black puppeteer and tried to do the approach of enhancing with fabrics that are reminiscent of, if not directly from Colombia, very close in continent.
I liked seeing everyone's hands. I really liked seeing everyone's hands. I don't know why, I found it really poignant, and just everyone, like you said, Zuli, everyone working together when the three people are holding one puppet. I don't know, it was really beautiful. I loved it.
Yeah, she didn't want us to wear gloves. She didn't want us to wear gloves. She's like, do they have to wear black gloves? Like, okay.
It looked beautiful to see everyone's hands working together. That was like a small dance behind the puppet.
Yeah. It's great, the relation that we got with the puppets, and the way the main puppet allows to create these emotions inside of us in every scene and develop the moments with the puppets. It's been a really beautiful experience. And Hope, that's very beautiful.
Yes, our ballerina.
Our ballerina, thank you very much. And the birds fly very beautiful.
Oh, the birds, yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it's really nice that the juxtaposition of like performing when you without the puppet, and then like feeling hidden behind the puppet. Like it's like a different way of experiencing a performance as a performer, and I like appreciate that the difference.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you, everyone, again.
Oh,
okay.
Sorry, I have one more thing to say, because I realized the question was kind of about the technicality of the puppets, and I like left some other things out because I was told, especially about the tango. And so the shoes for the Sophia when we come out are Sophia has a pair of shoes on that have a rod coming in the back of it that are connected to the pair of shoes that I wear. And then there's two other rods on her back, one on her upper back and lower back. So you can have the different articulation between lower back and upper back movement. The two arms had the rods coming out of them that we were able to either use different parts of it, either the stick, or a lot of times I just held the arm. And the fingers have these little rings in them that Zuli and Chris were able to actually slip their fingers into as well to create more natural aspect of them grabbing the glass for the toast and everything. And then once we switched to the tango, Federico made these other swivel shoes. As you noticed, I placed them and we changed them to where I guess there was just a hinge on the front to where when we flipped forward, the feet were able to flip forward and move around with me as well. And we'll get that a lot. Yeah. So there's the full answer.
Yeah.
Federico, I don't think I ever told you, but sometimes I would catch myself as I was operating the puppet, the silver puppet, just looking at all the intricacies and the little details and how the length of I don't know if it's an elastic that you have in between the joints. Like, I'm like, wow, that's very precise and so important that it's that specific length and how it moves. And it's very impressive, like how you do all that. Yeah.
I'm glad all those things let you think in something else, because the show is very intense, and having this conversation, and we've been having these long conversations of myself telling you my experience and everything that happened around my family in that moment, and the importance to me to be able to tell this story and to be able to open this conversation. And I'm really happy to have you, all of you, to be with me in this journey, trying to finish this story. And I think these 10 days really build a relation. They make me feel that we have a group right now, and is many other people that's been involved. They are not here in the Zoom, like Luz Beatriz, Alberto, the chef, which is a whole character, and all the other puppeterians in Colombia, they working in those videos. Thank you to all of them too, and see you in August.
Yeah, we look
And
forward
we keep going.
to keep going and growing with the show. And yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
See you soon.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.